guys, it's time for our daily genealogy video. The wrestling videos in editing as promised. So excited. So freaking excited. Okay. As I mentioned, this video is going to be about free resources. I have several online and offline resources. Let me talk about the offline resources. Libraries in general, especially big city libraries. I guess the New York Public Library is among the top libraries for genealogy research. But your own big city library might have archives of your newspaper. They might have, libraries have access to Ancestry, and you don't have to pay for it. Just go to the library and use it, or they may have access to MyHeritage through at-home use, off-site use, that you can get that for free. Funeral homes, I mentioned that before. Now, the online resources are going to be things like FamilySearch.org that we talked about, Find a Grave that we've talked about, so we won't go into those as much. National Archives and Records Administration. And now this is both online and offline, because you can go to your local office of the National Archives. Or not so local. In my case, it's a hike. Depending on which one I go to, it's a little over an hour to one and probably 2.5 to the other one. Because there's one up in Waltham and one out that way in Pittsfield. So either way, they're quite a ways from me. But we used to go to the one in Waltham. So, but you can also look at some of their stuff online. I remember when we first started doing it, another possible on and offline resource are state archives. Some have databases, some don't, that are available online. It just depends on the state or Commonwealth. And I say that because I live in a Commonwealth. There are 4. Massachusetts, where I live, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, and Virginia. That you live in will determine how much you will get out of the archives online. In fact, I remember when we were first doing genealogy, back when you had to go online and it sounded like this. If you're old enough to remember that. And with an old modem that was measured in baud, B-A-U-D, yeah. I mean, when we got the highest baud modem, we were so excited. It was so stinking fast. Oh boy. Now that would be so utterly slow. You couldn't get on any website. But through our modem, through a special phone number, or there was a special way to do it anyway. Through our modem, we could tap straight into the main state archives. And you'd hear the of the modem making its phone call and stuff, and straight into the archives. It was a straight line, straight shot. No internet, no nothing, straight shot. And it was neat. Let me know in the comments if you know of places you could do that with back in the day. We're talking in the 90s here. Because we've been doing this a long time. We started doing this in about, well, my mother started doing it probably 94, 95, maybe. I started doing it about 98. So you figure 2008, 2018 is 20, 19, 20, 21, 20. I've been doing this for 24 years. My mother would have been doing it close to 30. So, so yeah. One of the places that's near and dear to my heart that's free is called the U.S. GenWeb Project, and there's also the World GenWeb Project. They're completely free. They have a ton of resources. For a while, they weren't even online because I think they were revamping. My mother helped to build the U.S. GenWeb Project in a lot of ways. She was a huge contributor in the beginning, and we, of course, have contributed to our own local history. The cemetery that I took you to in Manchild when I had my horrible fall, we have put that cemetery online. Not only through the gentleman that runs the Historical Society in town, or the Historical Society, but also on Find a Grave. We put that whole cemetery there. Took all the pictures, listed all the names. So, but I think Mom also put it on the GenWeb originally. She did other things on there too. Something called WikiTree, which is great because people can add and subtract and edit trees that they find on there, and I have a tree on there somewhere. You have Ellis Island and you have Castle Garden, which are separate sites. Ellis Island, everybody hears about Ellis Island, and everybody's ancestors, well, here on the East Coast anyway, came in through Ellis Island. And, well, not all of them did, there were a lot of ports, first of all, and second, if you came in before Ellis Island opened up, like my family did, about 20 years before, you came into New York, you came into a place called Castle Garden. They have a website now too. And that is where my family came in. As mentioned, there's the World GenWeb Project, which is great. And I also want to mention that unlike in the United States, Australia's newspaper archive is entirely free, which is bonkers in a good way. I actually have them under my Australian Resources tab because I do have family that ended up there. It's hard to, find free resources for Northern Ireland. You would think it would be easier because Northern Ireland's part of the UK. The Republic of Ireland is not. But you also have to remember something. When my ancestors, and probably yours if they came from Ireland, came here, Ireland was one country. It didn't split up and become Northern Ireland, a part of the United Kingdom, and the Republic of Ireland, which is independent of the UK, until the 20s, the 1920s. So yeah, that's the way it goes. But they do have Gen UKI, which is United Kingdom and Ireland. And I think that means Northern Ireland, because again, Northern Ireland's part of the United Kingdom. It could mean United Kingdom, including Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and the what do you call it? Republic of Ireland. I don't know. But I do know that if your family, I'm trying to straighten this, if your family comes from Northern Ireland, they are Scottish. they're Irish, but they're also primarily Scottish. Because at some point, the United Kingdom pushed the Gaelic, not the Gaelic. Yeah. The Gaelic. Southern Ireland would be Celtic. The Gaelic over from Scotland into Northern Ireland, pushing the Irish in Northern Ireland south. So you have the Gaelic and the Celtic, and that's probably part of the problem with them getting along. Is not just the Catholic and Protestant, but I think also the Gaelic and the Celtic. And do you know that right now in Ireland, there's only, not in Ireland, in Scotland, there's only a small percentage. I think it's, oh gosh, maybe 40, no, less than that. I can't remember the percentage now, but it was a small percentage that still speak the Scottish form of Gaelic, which is their language. And it's a shame they're losing their language because they primarily speak English. I don't know how many people in Northern Ireland speak it. I know that my great-grandfather spoke it. My great-grandfather, in fact, spoke 7 languages. Let's see. He spoke the Scottish form of Gaelic. He might have spoken Celtic. He spoke German. I want to say he spoke Spanish, English. Oh gosh, what were the other 2? It's been so long since I heard it. And they were all listed out to me by one of my cousins' grandson. And my great-grandmother, on the other hand, spoke primarily the Scottish form of Gaelic. So that's what they would speak to each other in, although her hearing was pretty bad, I guess, almost deaf. Though when they actually did speak to each other, that was a whole other thing. For some reason, and it may have had to do with alcohol, they didn't live together for quite a while. They lived in the same building. My family owned a duplex in Broadbrook, Connecticut. Unfortunately, it's a shambles now. At least the last I saw it. So maybe somebody else bought it, fixed it up. That would be nice. But the people who bought it from my father's cousins destroyed it. I mean, my father was almost in tears when he saw that place. Excuse the dogs again. So yeah, we and even my father noticed this. His grandmother lived on one side, and his grandfather lived on the other side. They did not live together. One lived with Auntie Mabel, and one lived with Uncle Bill. Because the siblings, Auntie Mabel and Uncle Bill, they owned the house, and they each lived on a side of the duplex. Yeah, my nose is just a mess. Okay, I have time. What is that? Oh, tonight. Tonight. Awesome. Christopher Daniels is defending the Defy World Heavyweight Championship against Swerve Strickland tonight in Portland, Oregon. show is called City of Thorns, which is probably a play on the fact that the city of Portland is known as the City of Roses. So yeah, that's freaking awesome. I know it has nothing to do with genealogy, but I didn't see it until, good Lord. Anyway, so yeah, I look forward to seeing that. I'm going to retweet that. Oops, so check out my social media for that. Ouch. Oh, pain right there on my sinus. Anyway, so yeah, but those are just interesting things you learn from family. If you can find someone in your family that knows, or that knew your great grandfather or your great aunt or whatever it is, you never know. I actually knew my great aunt. I knew two of my great uncles on my mother's side. Anyway, I think I met a couple on my dad's side, but because they lived in Connecticut, I didn't really know them. And they died when I was little, except for Uncle Bill. And for whatever reason, we just didn't have a relationship with him, going forward after all his siblings passed. So I don't know. You also might find out that I lost my train of thought, but I do have another train for you. I was talking to another older relative, and it's amazing what older relatives know. And it turned out that his wife's parents were good friends with figure skater Sonia Henny's parents. Sonia was a couple of years older than her, and she was named after Sonia Henny, one of the great figure skaters of all time. How cool is that? I have that written down in the Genealogy Bible, which I still haven't found, as my mother called it. It's around here. I put it away for safekeeping, and of course, when I do that, it stays away. So. That's why when I move, I carefully look around that room, because I don't know whether my father ever put money away for safekeeping and forgot about it. Which would not be unusual for him. So, but I do have a doctor's appointment Wednesday. It's on Zoom, so I'll see you after that. Oh, stupid nose. So that's what I wanted to give you. Read these resources. I will link them in the description. Link in this script. All of it. All of it. All of it. There we go. so that you have the resources. And there are places to get obituaries for free as well. Legacy, there's another one too. But remember, obituaries are not always accurate, and neither are death certificates necessarily. But we've talked about that and about grieving people. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless you, and I will see you back here for the end of the cooking video when that comes out of the oven. See you then. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.